All right. So guys, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Victoria, I hope you've not abandoned us.
I'm here, sir.
All right. So what we want to do now, let's attempt to build the calculator app together. Or do you guys want us to? Should we just move forward?
No, sir, let's attempt building it together.
All right. So we already know these aspects. These are the beginner steps. We'll just say uh, basic calc, right? I don't want a main class for now. So to finish. Now our basic calc has been added. So the next thing we can do is to create. Always remember, please don't forget that. Always remember to add a package. And so let's call this uh, core, or let's call it maybe core UI. Right, let's start from there. Okay, and then we can right click and say new. Okay, let's say order. Okay, so we can come into um, maybe swing GUI forms. We can come into swing GUI forms, and we're going to see a number of the type of forms available for us. Right, we have a JFrame form, um, a JPanel form, JApplet form, Bean form, quite a number of things, right, that we could use, right? So, but what we want to start with here would just be a JFrame form, right? The reason we went this route, we could have just done this, right, JFrame form. But I clicked on another to show you that in case you begin to interact with the system, right, where you don't see those things there, just click on other and then click on that swing GUI forms, and then you'll be able to get it. So let's do different form. And so let's call this base frame. Finish. All right. So with this base frame, uh, depending on what we want our calculator to look like, okay, we can begin to adjust accordingly, right? Maybe I just want a calculator to look somehow slimish, right? Not too out there, and something very nice and uh, uh, sturdy, right? So I can get a panel, right? Now, a panel is a container, right? You can use a panel to be able to group certain things together, right? There are many things we use containers for, right? We have a toolbar, we have a tabbed pane, we have a split pane, we have desktop pane, we have scroll pane, internal frame, and a panel, right? So the first one we want to consider is how to use a panel, right? So let's bring up this panel. So I want this panel to fill up the entire base frame, right? Because we want every other thing we are going to be adding to be inside this panel. We want to be able to control this panel, right? So now we can say that let's scroll up and see the properties available for us on this panel, right? So let's start with adding a border for our panel, right? So let's say we want uh, edged border, right? Um, Okay, would that be or soft bevel border? Would that be better? Empty border, line border. Okay, so let's start with line border, right? Okay, so uh, this border we have just created, right, is already there for us. And so remember that these things we are putting is on the panel currently, right? We've added a border and we would like a background, right? We would like a background and we don't maybe like this current background. Maybe you want a black kind of screen. You can click on this and then let's let's use something that's not too black, right? We now have this. Okay, so we can proceed to begin to add other things to this to this panel, right? So we can add quite a number of things. So the first thing I would like to add might just be um, a text field, right? Might just add a text field. Okay. So let's say this text field, let's position it somewhat here, right? Okay. So I'll add everything I need to the screen and then will come out and then we can later make adjustments, right? Um, I hope you guys are still there.
Yes, sir.
Please, before you abandon me, let me know so that I'll prepare my heart for a possible heartbreak. Okay, so let's do this. Now, notice I it's just this J button one. These guys are active now. So I want to select three of them. So I'll just click on, press down my control button on the keyboard, click on this other guy, and click on this other guy. Now, there are a number of things I can change by doing that. Okay, one of the things I can change is I might decide to now drag them so that I position them the way I would want them to be, right? So now that I've positioned them, I can even decide as well to duplicate. Okay, they are still selected together. I can still duplicate. They are still selected together. I can still duplicate. Okay. Now, mind you, what we have successfully done here is what I was describing to you guys earlier, right? That the idea behind this is just create one, and if it looks nice to you, you can now begin to duplicate. Okay. So what we want, I want to do now is to, yeah, Victoria, go ahead.
Okay, so the initial stuff you did, the initial frame, please, what's the title for it?
The one that we started with, is it the J frame?
Okay, yes, the J frame, yes, the one that is containing everything.
Yes, the J frame.
I'm supposed to see it under this swing, this the same part where I get to see the label, the checkbox, the containers.
Okay, so can you share your screen? Let me see what you're dealing with.
Okay. Okay, can you see it, sir?
Okay, so ask your question. What's your question?
So on this screen, so the one I actually used here, I'm not it's not really a J frame.
Okay,
Like I
okay,
want
okay, okay. Oh, no, no, no. Can you? Yeah. So you already have a J frame. What you have there is a J frame, right? So
okay.
what the next thing I added to it was a J panel, a panel. So under the container area, you see a panel.
Okay, here.
Can you see a panel under containers?
Yeah, under AWT.
So is it AWT you're doing? No. Under swing containers, the first, can't you see a panel there?
I can see a tab pan. It's not necessarily a panel, it's a panel, like a pane.
Pane. Wait,
Yes.
wait, 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 wait. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Let me see what you're referring to.
This is where a panel is.
No, 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 not that one. Wait. No, not that one. Okay, no, not that one. Okay, so see what you're going to do. What version of Netbeans is this?
IDE 22.
Okay, 22. Um, it's supposed to be there. Supposed to be there. So see what we are going to do, right?
Okay.
Um, no, because now the way swing works is totally different from the way AWT works,
Okay.
right? So I want to hold on. Okay, so you know what? Under the swing containers, right?
Okay.
Can you right click on that? Look for somewhere that is empty on the swing containers. Can you right click on it?
Okay. I've done that.
What are you?
Create new category, delete, rename, sort by item name, refresh palette, hide item names, show big icons, palette manager.
Yeah, click on palette manager.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what are you seeing now?
Swing containers, swing
All right,
control.
expand on us or the swing containers. Expand the swing containers.
Okay. Yeah. Tab pane, split pane, scroll pane, toolbar, desktop pane, internal frame, layered pane. They're all clicked.
Okay, so they are all clicked. So it means this version doesn't have it. So see what we are going to do. Open on swing windows. Expand swing windows. Let me see.
Okay. Dialog frame, color chooser, file chooser, option pane. But there's panel on look and feels.
Let me see.
There's a panel on look and feels.
Okay, okay,
J
yes, yes,
panel.
yes, yes. That's what we are looking for. That's what
Okay.
we are looking for. Select it.
Okay.
All right. So uh, click or close.
Okay. Okay, it's here now.
All right. So drag and drop.
It's dropped.
All right. So you can now adjust it to fill the entire screen. You get.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Let me stop sharing.
All right. So this is where we are at currently. Okay. Nothing much. Okay. Um, So what we now need to do would be to work on these buttons one by one. Now, usually this should be positioned for 7, right? So we'll change the text here. Now, there are a number of things I want us to take note of. There are 3 important things here. These properties, event, and then code. Okay. Now, we are going to be modifying things under these 3 tabs eventually, right? But we just need maybe 1 or 2 of these tabs for now. So the first thing I would like us to change here is uh, change this variable name, call it maybe btn 7. Ensure that that is the button for 7, right? And then here we can change the text on it to be 7. Okay. Now you will notice that the dimensioning of that thing has changed, which is not supposed to be so, right? So what we need to do is to keep that dimension fixed. We need to keep that dimension fixed, right? Okay. So we are going to make it fixed later, but let's just finish. Let's process things one by one. The other thing we want to do with this guy. All right. So we are going to arrange it again and we'll make it better. So let me just finish changing what I want to change, and then we are going to arrange it. Okay. So I'll come back to code for this guy. Call this btn 8. Come to properties. I want the text on it to be 8. Um, then come back to this guy. In fact, what I will do is I will have to delete this other button. Then let's finish the adjustments and then duplicate at once, right? So that we don't stress ourselves too much. Hello, guys. I hope you guys are still there.
Yes, sir. Yes, I was here, sir.
So whatever
Yes,
whatever I
sir.
do, whatever I do that is not clear, please just call my attention to it, please.
Okay, sir. Sir, please, I have a question, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that panel that you first drew.
Uh, I'm listening.
Okay, okay, sir. I wanted to know the reason why you drew it at first, like the reason why you used the panel after you have created the J frame, sir.
Okay, so I'm using it as a container to group these things, right? Consider it like a way to manage a group of items. Now, this is very useful when you're dealing with complex screen layouts. Okay, so that if I wanted to hide, okay, let me see whether I can find this calculator. Are you seeing this Windows calculator?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm seeing it, sir.
All right. So now, if I decide that I want it to be a standard calculator, can you see that something else is now appearing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's true. I'm seeing
Yes.
other
So
friends.
exactly. So if I use scientific, it will also change. So what is essentially is happening is that these ones here are grouped inside one particular panel, right? So that if you want to hide these ones that belong to a specific function, you're hiding just the panel. You don't need to start hiding the button one by one. So you just perform the hiding on just the panel, and it will affect everything that is under that panel. So you use it for grouping kind of stuff, right? Or for organization, like graphical organization, much like you're going to do with your package, where you have a number of classes placed under one package, and then uh, everything is there. If you delete that package, you've deleted everything. Or you put all your files in one package. Let's say you in your system you have abominable files, and you pack all those abominable files, put it in one folder, and call it abomination. So that any day maybe EFCC is coming to scan through your system, you know that it's just one folder you're going to delete. You don't need to go and start looking for all the files where you have some abomination, right? To delete, you just delete one folder and you're done with it. So the idea there is to help us group things together, and that's why they are called containers. But the very simple container that doesn't have extra kind of features is a panel. Very simple kind of container. Any other kind of container you're seeing here has other kind of features. Take, for instance, the tapped pane. The tapped pane, if we want to create an interface that has tabs on top, where you can move from tab 1 to tab 2, just much like WhatsApp, where you can move from chats to status, or from chats to calls. You know how your WhatsApp interface looks like, right? Okay, so if where you want to be able to move from one
Yes, sir.
interface to the other. So take for instance this calculator app that now that I've expanded it. Okay, if I said let me make it a let's say programmer for instance. Okay, see what it now looks like. Okay, so a lot of things has been hidden. A lot of things has been hidden, right? So the idea behind that is if you wanted to create um, a tapped pen, do I have an app that has a tap pen? Okay, I don't have any app that has a tap pen. I would have been able to show you guys, but you've seen those apps that have tabs. Now you can go from one tab to another. Haven't you guys seen those kind of apps?
Yes, sir. I've seen it. WhatsApp
Yeah,
is a good example. You just
yes, WhatsApp
scroll
is
to the left.
yes,
You
WhatsApp exactly. WhatsApp is a very good example, right? So that's where you make use of tapping toolbar. Obviously we're going to use some of these examples as we move forward. Toolbar, internal frames, and all of that. So we're going to use them. So, but our concern for now is to start with a very simple container that just helps us hold things together. Now, the idea is that if you understand how these containers function on a very small interface, a very simple interface like this, then you should not have problem, because any complex interface you see can be broken down into smaller modules, right? Where you start by developing the smallest module, the smallest one, you now move to the next one, move to the next one. So you can now bring all of them together eventually, right? And have your full-fledged app running. Okay, so it's important that we state that there is no app you see, no matter how complex, that does not start with certain basic building blocks. And so that is what we want to achieve. And that's why I was trying to explain how to group certain functionalities and how they help, right? So now, since we are now using certain fixed dimensions for our buttons, okay, so if you notice that this button, I now have a certain fixed dimension for it. Okay, so the layout, I have the horizontal size to be 60, vertical size to be 60. Now, if I want them to be resizable, then I can use these things. There are a number of things you can do, but that's not our concern for now. So I'll continue to duplicate these things. Okay. Obviously, I can now have 4 of them on one line so that our calculator does not look too long. Okay. Now that I have that, I can now select the 4 of them and ensure that I adjust it accordingly. So see what I will do in that case. Let me adjust this guy. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So now that we have this, I can now select these guys and then duplicate. Okay. Select and duplicate. Right. And then I can move these guys up. Now, eventually, once you master these things, you will develop your own custom approach to design, right? You may not stick to what I'm doing, but in the meantime, now that you're learning, just follow my examples until you find a design pattern that is convenient for you, and then you can now roll with it. Okay, so now we have uh, an area. Mimi, 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 put on the solar for me. Now we have an area that can accommodate all the 9 buttons. Okay. So what I will do here, let's start with maybe, okay, we're going to come into this code guy later, but that's not our concern for now. Okay, so let me do, this is 0. This is, um, now, if you're not careful with that stuff, you need to, I don't know why I'm not getting it right. So what I'm trying to do there, I've gotten it. I just want to edit that stuff directly. So now that one will be a decimal point. Then this one will be, let's say, let me say 1. Okay. Then let's come to this guy. And this one will be 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Now remember the assignment I gave you guys was just a basic addition calculator. I did not just wanted you to build a very simple addition calculator for me. Or did I ask for something more than addition calculator?
No, no, sir. You strictly said addition for now. Just you
Yeah.
said basic
All right.
addition calculator.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. So now that we have this, I would like to maybe do a label. Um, do a label. Let's say at the center, so that that label, what I would like to have on the label, might just be, let's say, Casio calculator. I know some of you remember Casio very well, so let's use what you remember. Okay, but since that is a dark background, we are going to, the best thing we need to do is to make that Casio to be white. Okay, we're going to make that Casio to be white. So what we are going to do, we can change this white. Okay, so the Casio calculator appears, and then there are quite a number of other things we can do. We can look at the font, right, and make it bold. Okay, and also make it italic. Okay, bold. Um, so that way, we can also, in fact, let's increase the font size a bit. Let's say 18. Okay. And now that we have that, we can also, uh, oh, sometimes I get carried away. We want to change the text here, right? So when you click on it, you can change the text that appears in it. Remember what we did the last time, just zero. And you can also specify the horizontal alignment, right? You can change it from this to right, okay? Um, what else? What else? What else? So the other things we now need to do is to focus on maybe how we are going to make this guy the UI is now ready. Okay, so we can begin to. Uh, Somebody wants to ask a question.
No, sir. No, sir. Nobody is up.
All right. So we can now begin to deal with this guy. So this guy, we have a number of things to do about him. Okay. Now on the code side of things, I want the variable name to be very obvious, right? So I want to call it plus. Okay. Now let me use something from BTN or BTN plus. Okay. And then on the properties, I will have okay, I think I've done everything I need to do on the properties. Okay, now there's something I will do later, but let me get to it first. So let's stick with the coding first. Let's just be changing the variable name, and then this one will be BTN one. This one will be btn period. This one will be btn 0. And this one will be btn 5. This one will be btn 4. Now, guys, this is where we are at. And this guy will also, okay, sorry, I didn't give this a proper variable name. I'll call it uh, text field display. Text field display. Right, so those are the things we want to be able to program. So what we now do is start by programming our one. Okay, so that whenever we tap on one, right? Now, remember that the calculator is supposed to have this one, right? They're supposed to do the things we want them to do. Okay, nothing else, right? So we have a number of ways we can actually go about this. Now, all in fact, there are ways because um, what is calculator logic. Now, it depends on what you want to achieve, the speed at which you want to achieve it, and all of that. But at least we have the management right? Victoria, what do you think? Wouldn't you manage this right? You don't manage it.
It's looking good.
Okay. So, one of you are that fast, even if it's not, there are certain things you've not done. Okay. Now, there are certain things you've not done. Let's see whether we can achieve them. So, let me select all of them. Select all of them. There are certain things we've not achieved yet. Right. And let me use this opportunity to show us how to achieve this. Now, see how I've selected all these buttons together and come to properties and change their certain properties that all of them share common, which is like the text font, right? So you can change all of this at the same time. So you can either come and say, okay, we want bold italic, for instance. Bold italic, for instance. So we just say one bold, right? And we want it as bold as big as this. I'll say, okay. Guys, are you seeing that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or so what we have just ended up achieving here is us being able to kind of uh, all the things like that, right? So because we want to instead of them so another aspect of the calculator, okay, another aspect of the calculator that we can quickly change. Um, Victoria is gossiping about us. Let me
No consequence, I'm here. So
Are you sure?
yes, I forgot to mute my mic.
All right. So I was just joking. I knew that you were not going to think about that. But when I asked the question earlier, I did not respond. That's why I was doing that to get back at you. Don't
I'm
mind
trying
me.
to design mine while you're designing yours.
Oh,
So
oh, oh, sorry.
I'm going
Sorry.
through and coming to it.
Oh, sorry about that. So now we can also get our own text field to have its own kind of forms. Okay? So let's change the font and the size. This one I would like it to be bold italic, maybe around 18 or no 24. Okay? Right? So make it that way. Right? So remember that all of these things can even make this video to be okay, but that's not our target for now. Can even make the video where we can make it, but that's not our target for now. So the important thing is that what we want to be able to achieve now is uh, whenever I use that click hand will appear here, right? When they click on four will appear and all of that. So remember what we learned in the last one. Okay, so ideally, what we want to try and achieve is to in all of this, let's let's look at our source, what our source is like. So a number of things must be added. And now if you wanted to be able to do something we have achieved, right? Do something we have achieved practically. If you wanted to achieve it by code, you can use this code you're seeing now. You can use this code here to achieve the same thing, right? So, but obviously, you don't want to stress yourself out. Okay? But I don't like this one. I know some people like coming because it makes their code look very, very, very rich. Okay. Now we have uh, all right. So now we don't want these two labels. Okay, this label and the panel. We don't want them. We want them as local, not we don't want them to be global variables, right? So we can actually change that, right? So click on this guy, the label, then click on use as local variable. Okay, then we check on the panel. We say use as local variable. Now if we come back to our source, we see that they are no longer appearing here. And the things we want to appear here are the things we want to be able to control that we want them to have a global scope. Okay, so you look, you no longer see those guys. So, but there are other things we need to be able to do. Now, let's have one. We can delete this guy. I remember that this guy, okay, because I've already created them. These guys, right, are things that is generated for you, right? Because you double click on the buttons, right? If you double click on them, then these guys will appear here, right? So this means this is where you can have a different idea of whatever it is you're creating. But let's start with just one first. Let's start with just one. Now, I will just of because we're working on the display, and we want this display to be able to handle all the issues we are putting to it. Remember the string builder we made use of the last time. So we're going to also use the string builder this time. So let's say string builder SD equal to string builder. Right. So the idea here is that whenever we get anything, right, we are going to get text one, right? Take for instance, we are going to say, remember that for button zero, what we called it the variable name we gave it button zero, right? So under the action, these are the things we can begin to do for button zero. We can say when somebody clicks on that button zero, right? This is the action we want it for. We want it to take the string builder and append and append zero to it, right? And when you append zero to the string builder, or in fact, let's get the method that handles this thing for us. Let's get a method that handles these things for us. So let's create a proper method that will handle this thing for us. This is where we are now going to start talking about other packages. So let's create another package and say something like let's say um, that code, right? Finish. Now you can give it something that makes more sense. So let's have now the Java class. And let's call it helper. Now remember that we said we are going to explore and use a lot of Java concepts, right? Some of these advanced concepts as we proceed, right? So we're going to attend to just that here, right? And so what we want to do here is a method, it's a public manage display. And this manage display what it will return to us will be a string, or what it will receive from us will be a string builder. So what essentially we want to try and achieve is that whenever I button is here, so what we want to do here, oh, this button here I was working on, sorry, was supposed to be dealing with button zero, button zero. So what I want to do is just get the text. Hmm, I don't know whether I should just jump into an advanced concept now. The concept of this. Like, because what I want to do now, we can better implement that listener and attach this listener to all the buttons, right? And so that when anything happens, the listener will just kick in. So, but let's start with a very concept. So, what we want to do at this point, instead of okay, when after advanced calculator, right? If we're going to do a so we're going to take exam, trying to look for a very basic concept use at this point. But any content that we at this point will make our code look cluttered, like a number of lines of code. But let's start with something very basic before we advance to the concept of business. Right. So let's start with something very simple. Let's continue with what we're doing right on this page. So as we build on it, then you guys will get where we are headed to. So let me say string builder append zero. That string builder, right? After appending zero to the string builder, um, then do well to get the display. Now remember that we called the display TF display. Do well to get that display TF display, get it, and then set the following text. And what text are you setting to? Your string builder on vector display. Right, that's where you're setting. And we are saving this. So
Yes,
Oh, yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. You can hear me.
all right, so we want to run this because remember we've just performed this on only button zero, right? We want to run this and see what we are going to get. Remember, all we are doing at this point is each time you click on button zero, just append zero to the string builder. Remember, the string builder is like a temporary holding center or a temporary string manufacturer, so that whatever string we want to manufacture, because we have to add things to it, we use that string builder producing stuff for us. Okay, so by using the string builder, so whenever we click on the button, we'll append a zero to that string builder and then display whatever is inside that string here. But so now that we've done that, we want to run this and see how it will go for us. So let's run the code. Now, as you can see, now I'll be able to answer that question you asked me earlier. Uh, Uzoma, Uzoma, you're there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Said there was a challenge you have where if you click on something, then the zero will still be there, right?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to, I'll show you how to deal with that. So, but for now, let's just be clicking on zero and see what happens. If you click on zero, can you see what is happening?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can see extra zero are adding.
Yes, so, but if we click on plus or any other guide, nothing is happening for now, nothing, right? So, if the reason those things are not happening is because we are not we've not added the only button we added functionality is zero button. So what we can do is go back to our code, right, and continue working. Now, what does that simply mean? This um, a listener, we will not need to be because essentially what we need to do now is just copy this code and duplicate it for all, right? That's essentially what we right? Copy the code and duplicate it for all the buttons. So what we can come back here and do, like for the layman way of doing it, is to do come to six, double click on six, come back here. Or if you don't want to double click on six, because if you look on six now, it has an event, right? Already here that says action performed, as it's called button action performed, right? We can actually rename that and say uh, when six is clicked, when six is clicked, right? Okay. So we can do that for 7 and say add. We'll call it when 7 is clicked. Okay. Guys, I hope we are together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
We're together, sir.
as you're making all those changes, the thing is appearing. Okay. So we can also come here and do the same thing, right? Add and say when it is clicked. Okay. And design, do the same thing for 9. Uh, when 9 is clicked. Okay. And also do the same thing for 2 when 2 is clicked. Now, always try to keep your name uniform, all right? Like this button 0 performed and the button 0 performed, we are going to also adjust them so that they reflect our naming convention, right? You're not supposed to have like conflicting naming conventions. So this is 3. I'll change it to when 3 click, and then this guy for when 4. Now for 0, we already have it, so we can when when 1. Okay, I believe we have captured all of them. 6, 7, 8, all of them. I believe we captured all of them. So we okay, reset first, not done first. So now our calculator is coming up, right? So now have all of this in place. Okay, so what we can now go back and do the copy and paste that we want to do. Copy and so can simply copy and paste. So Guys, you know what I'm just imagining now? I'm just imagining, assuming you guys said, oh, don't bother about the calculator. We now know what we don't do. I was just imagining, like, would that have been the right thing? Like, just like the way you ask some people in class, you understand, they say, yes, then the lecturer will move on as with his head held high, thinking that everybody now understands what he was teaching, not knowing that. Okay, then this when six is clicked, we use a word for six instead of a number. So we'll go back and change that to design guide. All right, so I want to see what happens right when we run this code. Okay, so we say 15 plus 43 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 7 plus 9. Hey, are you seeing that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It does. Wow.
Any questions so far?
Okay, okay, sir. So I have a question, sir. Sir,
Go
what
ahead.
code did you use to deal with that issue that I had? Was there something I missed there? I want to see it in the source code, sir.
Yeah, the only thing you need, right, was that look at the source here. Uh, look at what I did, right? Look at what I did. I started with a string viewer. And that string viewer does not have I have it's nothing in there. And so all I'm saying is when you click on any button, right, simply carry what that button represents and put inside the string viewer. It's whatever you have on that display. So it means what you have on that display is what is inside the string viewer. What you that replace whatever was there before with what I have scripted about. So for what you need to know was just adding what that carrying the content that was already there and you're adding what you have to what was already there. Whereas when you get up a chair, you are replacing anything. What is actually happening here? Look at this as a calculator. What is actually happening here is that when we typed 15 plus 43 plus, the moment we add one, the moment we press one, what happens is that this one goes into that string view that has already has 15 and 43. And 15 for 15 to, and then what will happen? They become a family that we have together. And so the next thing that happens is that it will delete what was already existing there, which is 15, and then replace it plus one. Because after the point, if you look at this line here, assuming, okay, let's imagine that we are now at this point there. This is where we are. And before I added zero, okay, let's imagine that that's where we are. The moment I add this zero, remember that the string view that currently has the highlighted part. So the moment I add this zero, the next line of action is everything on that the new content of the speaker. And the new content of the speaker is all speakers that are now having to
Yes, sir.
Victoria, any concern?
Hmm. I'm watching, sir.
Your report is not giving me confidence. So yeah.
I had to reinstall another Netbeans because this one I don't know, it's acting like a weapon fashioned against me. So but I'm actually watching.